Hi, Ruben Taylor from Business Success Educators here, and we help business owners profit more and work less. And in this video, I wanted to show you how you can free up 5 hours of your time every single week. You see, most people in business have things or people that are robbing them of their time every single week. And so what happens is you don't get done what you want to get done, or you're getting stuff done and then you're knocked off course and you can't seem to get that time back. And you start to lose time and you end up having to waste more time working nights, weekends, or just to catch up on all those things. And the secret to this is eliminating what's wasting our time. And I find there's two main categories of which time wasters fall into. The first one is what we call distractions. This is where we've got lost and distracted on something. We've gone onto our phones to check social media and then all of a sudden, an hour's gone by. Or we've gone to check an email and then, our time's been wasted then. We've been distracted from the job at hand. We've got pulled onto something that we perhaps shouldn't be doing. The second type are interruptions. So interruption is where something or someone interrupts us. So we're in the middle of something and we get interrupted, and that can be frustrating. And in fact, it costs us about 30% of our productivity. Now, typically interruptions come externally from you. The phone rings and so we answer it. Someone walks into your office, you get a question from staff, you've got something that just comes in and interrupts what you're doing. But all these things add up. All these things rob your time during your week. Now, if you really want to find out how much time is being wasted and what's actually wasting your time, you can do something called a time audit, which is literally writing down every 15 minutes what's happening with your time. You do it for a week, but by the end of the week, you know exactly what's happening with your time and exactly some of those things that you need to eliminate that are actually wasting your time. I remember one of our clients did this, and he was the kind of guy who didn't really like paperwork. And so he'd go and look at his pile of quotes to do and go, I'll just have a coffee. And then I'll get stuck into my paperwork. I'll just go and check on the guys out the back, see how they're going. And then I'll get onto those quotes. And see, he was procrastinating. He was avoiding it. Now, the interesting thing was when he did the time audit, he didn't realize this was actually going on. And this was a guy, he had a young family. He was working 60, 70 hours a week. He said, hey, I just want to work more time with my family. But when he did the time audit, he worked out he was wasting about 15 hours a week on those coffees and smokos and breaks. Those times when he was procrastinating, those times when he was avoiding the paperwork was all adding up, but he didn't realize it was happening. So that might be something that you want to try on. And once you know what those time wasters are, the next thing is, well, how do we go about eliminating? How do we get back those 5 hours a week? Well, you handle each one differently. So when distractions is all about eliminating them, but also setting boundaries. So if you're wasting time on social media, either eliminate it by deleting the app off your phone, or just saying, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore, or put boundaries around it. I'm going to check my social media during my lunch break, or I'm going to give myself an hour to do it, or half an hour to do it, or do it, after hours, not during business time. It's all about setting some boundaries around what's going to stop you from doing that. Same with our emails. Switch off that notification reminder. Switch off that you've got mail. In fact, with all your social media, switch off any notifications because they can be very, very distracting. And when it comes to checking your email, have it shut down. Shut it off your computer, off your phone, switch it off. Go in there at certain times to check it. Some of you can get away with just checking your emails once a day. Sometimes it could be twice a day. But generally, no more than 3 times a day should be enough to keep on top of your emails, and you'll find you'll get your time back. Then we come to our interruptions. How do we free up the time? Well, there's a couple of things. We want to manage those interruptions. See, what can we control? We can't control when our phone rings, but we can actually control whether the phone is actually on. Are there times when you need to turn your phone off, switch it to silent, put it in a drawer, put it out of mind, out of sight, or give it to someone else in your business to manage so you can go and get that key project or key task done? It's about looking at what we can control of our time, not what we can't. The other thing that we want to get to is the root cause of what's causing some of those interruptions. So if you're commonly getting interrupted by staff, well, hang on, what are those questions? What are those common questions that I need to do that I could train my staff in, or I could write a system for? What are those things that are interrupting us? Or I remember one of our clients, he runs a mechanical franchise, and he was often getting interrupted by sales reps. They'd just drop in unannounced, interrupt his day, interrupt his time. So what he did is actually set time aside each week of when he saw reps. So Friday morning I see reps. So if a rep dropped in and says, sorry, I can't see you now. I see my reps between 9 and 11 on Friday morning. Happy for you to make an appointment. Would you like to do that now? And so he moved it to when, rather than getting reactive all the time, getting interrupted all the time, to a time where it worked for him. It meant he wasn't getting interrupted all the time. And one of our other clients who runs a law firm, similar thing, was often getting interruption from staff all the time, walking into his office, had the open door policy, asking questions about these legal matters. So what he did is twice a week, he put together a lunch and learn. Bring your questions to me, we'll brainstorm on them as a team, we'll solve each other's problems, we'll do that all together. So rather than just reacting to all those questions all the time, was setting some time aside of when those questions could be answered. Now, here's the thing, because people had to wait, often they would actually work out the answers to their own questions. They'd come up with solutions themselves, which is another great way of actually eliminating that time waster, is when someone comes to you with a question, ask them, what do you think you should do? What are 2 options? Give me 2 solutions and what do you think we should do? Because it actually gets them thinking. You've trained them to answer the question, you're actually flipping it back on them so they can actually think through and come up with the answers themselves. Now, sometimes there are some areas where they need further training or systems, but again, it's all about being conscious of what these time wasters are and then putting solutions in place. Now, I find that most business owners, you'll be able to eliminate at least 5 hours a week if you go to town on these things that are wasting your time. So once you do that now, what are your top distractions? What are your top interruptions? Work out the solution that needs to happen to get rid of them, to get that time back, and then put that strategy in place. And remember, if you're not really sure about it, then do a time audit. Do it for a week. In fact, if you want a template for a time audit, just shoot me an email or drop a comment below and I can get a copy of that to you, and then you can actually go and work through that for yourself. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Be sure to leave some comments below on what you thought about it, or let me know about some of those time wasters that you've managed to eliminate, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Bye for now.